What is going on, golf fans? It's your boy Gsluke here with our round 2 live stream for props and PGA DFS for this week's 3M Open. Gonna go through what you need to know both out there from the weather perspective and, of course, from the strategy perspective to go out there and have yourself a profitable round 3. So if you've got any questions at any point, now is your time to get them in. If you're tilting after round 1, if you're in a good spot after round 1 and want to brag, well, hey, you can let us know down in chat as well. So cheers to everyone out there. Personally, myself, not the best prop day today. Had a few hooks, few just bad reads on my part, I would say. And then also on the DFS side, I'd have to say in a pretty good spot. So kind of like a mixed bag. First off, the morning wave absolutely killed it today. Tomorrow with the current weather forecast, it does look like that weather edge is going to hold up too. So I'm pretty stoked about that. But like I said, couldn't make it a really good prop day. So not going to go out there, toot my own horn out there. Let's go out there and make it a smash day tomorrow. What's going on? Bobby Bombs says, let's go. Yeah, time to dive in, right? Shall we? Say hi down in chat, guys, if you're down there. Got a little Crown of Coke in the cup here and going to hopefully dive in and make this a good one. So what we are talking about from this weather edge, right, was this one-shot differential between the two waves. Now, I think they finished up play. There might be a few guys still out there on the golf course. So let me actually go out there and refresh this. I know at 8 o'clock, there were still like 1-2 holes to be played. Let's see. No major changes when it comes to the scoring averages. Minus 1.12 in the morning wave. The PM wave played minus 1.12 under par, right? So about a whole stroke difference between the two waves there. And not to get too ahead of ourselves, right? But the whole idea with stacking the AM wave this week, or at least taking most of our player pool from the AM, right? We still played Aaron Rye, the Eric Coles of the world, the JJ Spahns, Justin Thomases of the world in the PM wave, Gary Woodland, the Gala too, right? A few other guys that we mixed in there. But look at this, right? The whole way up until 4 p.m. tomorrow, so pretty much the whole way until like halfway through the PM wave, there's going to be next to no wind. So instead of seeing a massive one-shot difference between the two waves, it's probably going to be like a half a stroke difference, right? Because the second half of most of those PM players is going to be in slightly worse conditions than what they had for most of the day, where you can see the wind gusts, they kick up to like 11 to 14 miles an hour. Sorry, I say the sustained winds kick up from like 11 to 14 miles an hour. And then down here from the wind gust perspective, it's calling for 15 the whole way up to like 20 to 21 miles an hour. Now, it might not actually get to 20 to 21 miles an hour, but the important part is, right, they're projecting significantly higher winds in the afternoon than the morning. So when we're going to go through our player poll, you'll see that once again, kind of like the main slate, a vast majority of my players for Showdown for props when I'm taking, positive stance props are going to come from the guys going off early. There might be a few guys in the PA wave that I'm mixing in, but usually only like studs, right? Guys that are up there towards the top end of the pricing board that can probably overcome that kind of situation, right? Because, the last, let's say 6 to maybe even 9 to 10 holes that these guys are going to finish tomorrow afternoon are going to be in the kind of conditions they had this afternoon, right? Where it only played just marginally under par, as opposed to all the guys in the morning wave. I mean, if we look at the ceiling performances, I know Hodges was morning, Hideki was morning. I'm not sure on Streelman, actually. I know Brandt was morning. Griot was PM. You had morning for Suh, Hardy, Finau, PM for Spawn and Post in there. So a few guys mixed in, right? That's why I'm saying, right, don't just play AM golfers tomorrow. But a vast majority of your top 10, top 20 finishers after the first day came from the wave with the one-shot easier conditions. So when you're going out there constructing your player pool, right, I would just know that, right? Keep that in mind, right? Know that you probably should be clicking a few more AM golfers than you are PM guys just based on the averages. So when we bring up my projections, of course, all of these are uncensored over there on the Patreon page. All of my projected points account for that, right? So if you're in the morning wave, you're going to have a significantly higher projection than those in the PM wave, even if it's only 6 to 10 holes that are affected, right? Because let's say that's a half a stroke difference, right? In terms of DK points, that's tangible enough to actually make adjustments over here, right? And, when every point matters, when you're playing on an optimizer, right, using that kind of tool to put together your lineups like I do, that makes a huge difference, right? I mean, you're talking massive swings when it comes to your exposure in those kind of optimizers based on 0.1, 0.2 shot, differences. let alone like a half a stroke to maybe even, who knows, maybe it is a full stroke difference, right? Maybe that, last 6 to 10 holes really does suck that much tomorrow. Now, I highly doubt that. I don't think that's going to be the case, but maybe it is. A few other things to note. It's not just the slight amount of wind at the end that we're worried about, right? I always get the questions like, oh, it's just a slight wind difference. It really can't mean that much. The morning wave, right? They have more receptive greens, right? So it's not just that. They also have more pristine greens that haven't been absolutely chewed up throughout the day. So, those factors, in combination with the fact that they're going to have the lower winds is why that I think that they're the better wave, right? Why they have a better chance to go out there and shoot like 6, 7 under par. So for Showdown, almost every play we go through here is going to be an AM wave. Let's see. Of the ones I have highlighted, there's only one PM wave. We've got Taylor Pendrith on there. Let's see, any more? Nope, just going to be Pendrith. So we're going to have a few highlighted plays that we go through here in a second after I go through the chat. But yeah, a lot of just AM wave guys, right? That's the way that I'm tilting my player pool. Hopes with Ludwig. I kind of hope he misses the cut gust, but I'm playing him for Showdown. So you can see I have JT down as a play. I'm also taking Ludwig Auberg. I think he's got a chance to make the cut, right? If he has, the kind of day I'm hoping for Showdown, he's definitely capable of making it to the weekend, right? Only has to shoot probably, I don't know, -3, maybe -4 to make the cut. Probably -4 to feel safe about it. And there's plenty of -4s out there, right? There's let's see, how many -4s today? Might be a little bit harder tomorrow, granted, but there were 22 -4s. So yeah, we could definitely do it. Hey, Luke, thanks for all your info. Of course, Patrick, welcome to the stream. Was AM better than PM? Absolutely. Especially for like ceiling scores. So I think you hit the nail on the head there, right? If you wanted somebody that shot like -6, -7, or -8, I mean, you had a few guys from the PM, like Griot got it done, right? For example, and then a bunch of AM guys. So yeah, definitely easier in the AM. What's going on, James? What's going on down there? They suspended the round. Oof. Yeah, that makes sense. I was wondering why the data wasn't coming in. Resume tomorrow at 9 a.m. Great. So they're going to probably not finish the cut there on Friday evening. That's great. Just rewatched Happy Gilmore and you're ready to drop fat stacks on Matsuyama. There you go. Keep your head up, bro. Dude, yeah, it's one day of losing. I don't get down about it. Trust me. I'm not that type of person. I just relay the info about it being a bad day, right? Other people might take it another way, but hey, that's on them, right? I play the long game. Trust me. Last weekend, we won enough entry fees for like 5 weeks of losing every entry if we want to. So trust me, it's okay. And you're saying I'm going to bounce back. You guarantee it. Don't be mushing me like that. I think we've got a good chance to bounce back, but let's not be guaranteeing anything out there like Charles Barkley. We know what happens when he does that kind of shit. Remaining guys have 2 or 3 holes left. Yeah, so they're probably the normal tee times are going to be, they're not going to be moved then, right? Because essentially those guys were teeing off later anyways, right? So let's see, like Trevor Cohn, right? I know he's still out on the golf course, right? He's teeing off at 9:57 a.m. So yeah, they're not even going to have to move tee time. So maybe they do finish it. Maybe they do get the cut in on time, right? They kind of give these players a little pat on the back and say, hey, get your ass moving there tomorrow, or else you're going to get a slow play penalty, which we know they'll never do, right? By the way, it's super loud out right now. There's a crazy storm out. There's thunder, lightning, rain going sideways. I apologize for any background noise. Nothing I can do about that. You have 100% AM in your second in a 178 member contest. Seems pretty good if you're in second place. There you go. Hopefully that continues, right? Really where it's going to matter, Matthew, is making guys get through the weekend, right? Trying to get a 6 of 6 out there. Tomorrow is going to be a big day for you, Matt. So best of luck for you. Appreciate you, homie. Appreciate you, Joe. What's going on, HH? What's going on to Cameron Champ? Yeah, I don't act like that. You're like, even Jesus had a bad day. You're like, you're a troll. What happened with Cameron Champ? I'm glad he withdrew. I didn't play his ass this week. Of course, defending champion, I understood the play. He was also in the good wave. So I definitely lucked out not playing him. But he actually had a kid. So he was out of town, wasn't even doing any like practice rounds or any media because he was back with his wife who had a kid on Sunday. So it's not like an injury or like something you should get mad at him about. Like he had a kid. The PGA Tour should have been letting people know that he still wasn't even on site. But because there's no kind of injury reports or range reports or anything like that, there was no way that we could have known that. So I didn't know that. That's not why I faded Cameron Champ. Right? I didn't know that he wasn't in town. But apparently the word is that he was going to fly in today, right, this morning, go out there, tee it up a few hours later, just see how it went, which, by the way, would not have gone well likely. But he apparently missed his flight or something. So didn't make it. So yeah, in terms of our plays, let's go through a few of our top end plays, a few highlighted guys I have here in the highlight sheet. And if you have any questions about specific players, feel free to go ahead and throw them down in chat. But we're going to do this on like a tier by tier basis. My goal is to have this live stream completely done by like 9:15. I've got something I've got to get to, but yeah, we're going to talk props. So we're going to spend at least 20-25 minutes on that. So we're going to do this rather quickly. So bear with me here. If you've got questions, though, throw them in the chat. I will touch on all of them. So first off, we've got Cameron Young at $10,700. He's like the only AM guy up here, right? The whole way down to Griot at $9,400. In a vacuum, he would normally be like super mega chalk, right? Because he's the only guy in the good wave going off. But because he played like utter dog shit, right? He shot even par, which compared to all of his peers up there is a pretty piss poor performance. You're going to get him at only 14.3% ownership. Now, I think it's single entries, higher dollar stuff. That's not going to be the case. Will probably be at least 20% owned. But in large field GPP kind of fields, I really like a Cam Young. I think that the ownership is going to be low enough where if you play him in like 40, maybe even 50% of your lineups, if you want to get frisky about it, you can get a bunch of leverage there, right? And if he goes out there, in the nuts conditions, maybe makes a few more putts than he did today, you're looking at a near GPP viable performance, right? And maybe he gets a chip in or two and he ends up in the optimal lineup, right? That's how these kind of things work. So he's a lot of salary, right? He's 10-7. I'm not starting every lineup with the Cam Champ, but it's a good starting place if you're looking for an AM golfer. You don't have to just completely avoid these PM guys because they're in the PM wave. Like I said, conditions tomorrow should be easier in the AM, but I don't think it's going to be the full stroke advantage that you saw today, right? Maybe it's like a half a stroke advantage that we see between the two waves. That means that these sort of players are more than viable, right? The whole way down to Straka. So I'll just tell you that there's one player in this range that I'm taking for the next round. So don't feel like you have to fade all of them. I'd say maybe don't play the super chalky options, which, Finau, Matsuyama getting quite a bit of steam at this point. But yeah, a Sanjay Straka, I couldn't blame you for taking either option. And yeah, I guess I'll just give you a hint. One of those two is in my player pool. So moving into this 9K range now, there's a lot of AM guys that you can take. So kind of unlike the 10K range, I feel like the 9K range is going to get hammered here in Showdown just because of how many AM guys there are. So you've got Griot. He's got really good course history here too. That lightning looks like it's getting close. It's going to get really loud. I apologize. Aberg there at +2. You've got JT at -2 that played well. That you can see I've got getting ownership, right? So I'm not just playing JT here because he's a low-owned pivot that you can get to. I'm playing JT because he played well today. He gets the nuts conditions out there tomorrow, and hopefully can go out there and post a low score, right? Get into some of those GPP viable lineups for main slate, let alone out there for Showdown. So I like JT here. It's worth noting that the ownership is there. If you're looking for a pivot, right, Aberg's your guy, right? If you need a pivot there in the 9K range, let's say you're starting with a few chalky guys up top, like you really like a Finau, or let's say like a Hideki, even a Cam Young's, right, still getting some ownership. Maybe Aberg is your good spot to differentiate, right? Get that little bit of low ownership. In this 8K range, there's a lot of options. I would say it's a larger 8K range than we're used to seeing, right? It's 10, 11 guys deep. So hit the Gala, AM wave bounce back. Don't think it's the worst idea. JJ Spawn, I just can't play. The ownership's going to be crazy on Spawn. He's like 3 times higher owned than Thagala. That is ludicrous to me. Let's see. Poston's pretty chalky, right? He shot -5. Even Keith Mitchell getting a little bit of attention there. I kind of like Nikolai Hogard, though, right? Hogard, he was chalky going into the week, but he only shot even par today. So despite being in the AM wave, I don't have him getting that much more ownership than what he was for like main slate, which if he's going to be like the same kind of ownership as main slate, which is pretty much what I have him at right there, I don't have issues getting to him, right? He can go off early, throw some darts, just like some of those other top end players. And there's some chalk I'm taking too. I'll admit it. I'm playing a chalky Aaron Rye tomorrow at like 25-30% ownership. Kind of just is what it is, right? He's going off early. I think he's going to perhaps win this golf tournament, right? If I'm that bullish on his chances, which I am, that's why I played him for my main slate stuff, even in the bad wave, right? You're going to have to play the guy. So I'm taking him in Showdown. That's just almost like an automatic play. Eric Cole fits that same description. There are a few other guys in this range that maybe didn't have the best round one, that as long as they're in the AM wave, I'm going to have no problem getting back to. Now, if there's somebody like an Austin Eckroat, right, who shot +3, who maybe didn't have the best day out there, right, maybe we have to reconsider it a little bit, right? Think twice about playing somebody who's going to be in the PM wave. So, yeah, a lot of the AM guys, I'm just looking for bounce backs on, right? They had to play a bad round sometimes. Worth noting, though, I am playing Eckroat. So he is in the PM wave, right? I mentioned there are going to be a few guys that I mix in. It has to be for a very specific reason. And the very specific reason here is that a lot of times these chalky, really good plays going into the week, right, that everyone loves, that go out there and suck for round one, like just go off round two. Like go off, make the cut on the number, pisses off everyone that faded them, right? That's just kind of a thing that happens. So, yeah, Austin Eckroat, believe it or not, I am playing, right, despite that. So for as much shit as I want to talk about him there. Taylor Pendrith, another PM guy that I'm getting to as well, right? Only 7.3% owned. This is because I tracked him shot by shot today. I had a bet on him with a matchup. Who was against Troy Merritt of all people, like just a crazy matchup, right? Pendrith versus Merritt. And he ended up going out there and hitting a bunch of shots to 6 to 10 feet and making nothing, right? I'm talking just 5-footer after 5-footer that he was missing. In Bentgrass, you can see he's a pretty good surface for him. You can see he's a plus putter on it. He's a negative putter on almost every other surface. So I think that he can go out there, bounce back, not go out there, lose just a bunch of strokes on the greens. And if he's able to do that, right, he might go out there and have a ceiling performance. Down here towards the bottom of the sevens, Cage Lee bounce back. I'm all for it. Inject it into my veins. Let's see. AM Wave, Will Gordon. The guy is an absolute nuclear bomb just waiting to go off. Guy is ridiculously volatile, right? So even though he shot +6, I'm still playing that kind of guy. Kazire, elite course history, 4 for 4 on made cuts. Going off early and a player that's extremely aggressive. A guy that I'm normally looking at in Showdown to begin with. Count me in. You can definitely see me playing him. Smotherman, smother me in money, as I call him. Smother me in Showdown money is what we should call Austin Smotherman. I don't care if he's +7. He's 0.6% owned. He's also $6,600, right? Like you're getting what you're paying for at a certain point. And Ben Taylor, the whole way down to $6,300. If I'm going to take somebody that's like completely sucks at golf, right? Like I don't want them to like be +7 after round one. Like I'll take +7 Smotherman because I know Smotherman is an absolute electric factory, but he has it working. Like he's a good golfer. Like we've seen him do it before. Like Ben Taylor, I'm going to play Ben Taylor. He's got to at least do something right out there for Thursday. So yeah, I'm getting there. Early tee time is pretty good with the long irons, which makes him a decent fit for the course. And he's only 1% owned. So again, not too crazy with the ownership. So those are the few, a few kind of plays I'm getting to. Again, if you want my whole player pool, my, ownership for every player, right, all the projected points to use them in your optimizer, right, when you're building your lineups, check out the Patreon. Link is down below. You guys know the deal at this point. And we're going to go through some lineup construction stuff. And then, like I said, we've got like 25 minutes left. So we're going to hop into props here real soon. We're not going to mess around today. We'll go over some questions now, and then we'll talk through some lineup construction stuff. Let's see what's going on. So a little 2-on-2. You've got Daffy and Higo and Lashley and Poston. I'd go the first one. So reason why I'd say ownership would be lower on the first pair. Daffy, Higo, you got two aggressive, high birdie percentage players, which is kind of what you're looking for, Showdown. It's making me jump out there. It's so loud, this thunder. I imagine you guys can probably hear it. That's why I'm jumping. But yeah, I like that first one more. You're saying JT was dialed in with the driver. Ball striking looked good today, right? I mean, let's look at the shots gained. I don't know the raw shots gained off the top of my head, but I know it had to have been good, at least off the tee, right? The approach play might have been a little mid. That wouldn't surprise me, but the the off the tee play had to have been great. Let's see. So yeah, gained 1.8 shots gained off the tee today, right? Number 6 in the field. It was pretty good everywhere else. Lost his stroke with the putter. Yeah, I think he's gonna have a real big day. I'm sold on it, right? He looked good today. He hit the ball well, and now he gets the nuts conditions. Count me in. He should let Bones read all of his putts. Yeah, I don't know why he wouldn't, right? Bones is a really good green reader for what I know. And yeah, he did that with Phil. So like, why wouldn't JT of all people, right? Let him go out there and read the putts. These golfers need to swallow their pride. Tend to agree. Completely agree, man. Cam Young tomorrow. Yeah, I like him. He's the only guy up there in the 10K range that's an AM golfer. And really the whole way down to Emiliano Grillo, right? So you kind of have to play him almost. Can we get a Gim bounce back? It's possible, right? Isn't he an AM wave guy? He goes off early. Let me double check that. No, he's PM wave. So it's going to be a little tougher, but it's not impossible, right? He's +3. I hope that he doesn't. And again, I hate rooting against people because I know you guys have him, but yeah, he was real chalky this week, huh? What am I thinking about Cam Davis? So I think he played pretty well today. I like how he started and whatnot. If you're gonna play him in Showdown, I'll tell you that you're getting decent ownership, right? Because he shot -3, there are a few people that are going to play him just based on that alone. Also, the fact that Cam Davis is kind of a pretty recognizable player on tour, even for casual golf fans. And I don't love that he's a PM wave golfer. So he's not my favorite play, but if your gut was telling you that Cam Davis is a real good play tomorrow, then don't let that talk you off of him just because he's a PM wave golfer. Like he can overcome that. He's just not my favorite play, right? Jeremy, let's go Gsluke. Hey, are we playing COD after this, Jeremy? I know I'm playing with Ian and Forbes. Are you getting on? Can you contact me via email? Yeah, you can. Jeremy says Woodland to spawn for Showdown, and it's Gsluke at Gmail, by the way, if you want to email me. Woodland and spawn for Showdown. I don't love spawn. I do think that he's just going to get a bunch of ownership. Like, I mean, if you're going to take somebody in that 8K range, I just prefer Sahith Theegala. Like, Sahith's better. Like, he's just a better player. I mean, look at the made cuts. Look at the top 10s this year. I mean, it speaks for itself. He's $100 more, and he's 3 times lower owned. So, not the biggest spawn guy. Your other one was Woodland, right? I do like Woodland. So Woodland at $8,900, also really low owned. So kind of like a Sahith Theegala. If you were going to take him as a pivot, that makes sense. Harrington, dart throw, AM wave, you think lost with the putter. So you're saying Scott Harrington? Or are you saying, yeah, Podrick's not in the field, so it's got to be Scott Harrington. Honestly, I did not watch anything from Scott Harrington today. He's very much so a low-level player, so I'm going to have to do some research on him. What did he shoot? You're going to have to help me even find the guy on. Oh, my God, we spilled. You're going to have to help me find him on here, man, because, like, literally, he's such a nobody. I have no idea how he played today. Like, he shows up once a year, right? Like, at one of these, like, half-assed events, he comes out there and plays well. I don't know if I can buy in even if he's playing well. Yeah, I can't find him on here. What'd he shoot? All right. If you post that down in chat, I'll look at him later. I'm not going to do the Easter egg hunt on that. Top bounce back golfers. For me, Sahith Theegala is my top bounce back tomorrow. I would throw Aberg into that. I think he's going to have a good round going off early. Nuts conditions. And Sepp Straka. I think Sepp Straka showed me a lot today. He got real unlucky off the tee, had a few bad lies. He had to lay up, just pitch out 3 times that I can remember. He had multiple shots on the greens that like had just, I shouldn't say shots, multiple putts today that ended up lipping out. It was just unfortunate. You're saying he shot -3. It's pretty good, actually, for good old Scott Harrington. Let's take a look at the shots gained. Yeah, personally, I'm not going to play him pretty much regardless because it's Scott Harrington. But let's see. He played well in approach and off the tee. I'll give him that, but he lost 2 strokes putting. The issue for Scott Harrington, right, is if you look at his last 36 rounds, like we just take a look at like his baseline out there in the PGA Tour, it's not like he's used to doing anything like that, right? He loses across all 4 categories. He's a slight gainer off the tee. I just can't do it myself. It's just, it feels like a little bit too much of a stretch. Like, -3 is probably his ceiling, honestly. That's probably the best that we're going to get from him, unfortunately. Which one of these scrubs can hold on for a top 5? You're trying to bet a top 5, a chalky top 5 right now? If you're going to do anything right now, maybe take a star blood that's a little bit further back. Let's say like a Sunjay M, right? I don't know what the live odds on a Sunjay for a top 5 would be. I think you'd be better off doing that than betting one of the scrubs at the top. Now, if I had to pick a scrub to hold on, like that's just, gun to my head kind of thing. So you're talking about, I guess, like a Streelman, a Duncan, a Seneca. I guess we could throw like the T6s and T9s in, right? Not really any scrubs. I guess Doc Redman, right, would be considered a scrub. Doc Redman, Augusto Nunez, I guess, or Brant Snedeker, right? Snedeker used to be just like a legit good player, right, out there on tour. I'd seen crazier things happen than him going out there and having a good week. That's for damn sure. Let's see. Scrubs. Yeah, exactly, right? All these scrubs. Jaeger AM, you think he can play better too? Yeah, he's an AM golfer. I could see that for sure. What's going on, Doc D? I'm doing pretty well. Just doing some stream stuff, right? Getting some props in, and then gonna play some COD after. So gonna be a good night. And you said thanks for the stream. Well, thanks for stopping by. Thank you for the support, man. It's for all of you guys. So in terms of lineup construction, we're gonna keep this quick. Again, I want to get out of here in the next 15 minutes. So if you have any questions, get them in for DFS. But lineup construction stuff, it's pretty simple, right? Round 2 showdown, I'm taking a lot of pivots, right? There might be a few chalky pieces like a JT that I'm taking. So let's say I'm starting like Cam Young JT, which is I would say a decently chalky start, right? It's not like mega chalky, but it's definitely chalkier than most, right? You're gonna have to slightly think about ownership. So like down here in the 8K range, let's not go out there and take JJ Spawn, right? Like that would be a mistake, right? Starting with those 3 players, because like they're all going to be 15% plus owned. But if you started with these 2 and then you like threw in Thagala, right, who's going to be sub 10% owned, I have no problem with that. Right? So like we're not going to make this rocket science. You guys get this at this point. You guys have been playing DFS for some time, even if you haven't, right? You can take some high owned players. Right? If you go to the projected ownership tab and somebody's ownership is going to be 15, 20%, maybe you have like 2, 3 of those guys in a lineup. That's fine, right? Just make sure that in 1 or 2 other spots that you have somebody that's sub 10%. Maybe one of your value plays will be a sub 5 or maybe even like a sub 2% owned player. If you have 1 or 2 of those, no issues. You can play whoever the heck you want at that point. You can play all the chalk if you wanted to and mix it in with that. You could easily get away with that. So that's what I'll say. Let's see. Any last second DFS questions? If not, what are we doing? I did not mean to click that. Well, we clicked like the Draftkings Nation tab, whatever. Let's go over here to props and figure out some stuff. I'm still mad at Prize Picks, by the way. Watch JT's post-round interview, and he said he's encouraged with his play. Yeah, I think he'd have to be with how well he was hitting it. But said the wind was really hard to play in. Said off the tee and approach were better, but the putter issues. Yeah, tomorrow he'll have low wind, so I think it helps. And then it's going to be an opposite wind direction. So maybe it was the direction of the wind that was the problem for him. If that was the case, I think that might help him. Watch out for Trainer. So Martin Trainer. I'm a sucker for playing somebody like a Trainer, like a scrub like him. But it's got to be when he's hitting the ball well in approach. So let me double check on good old Martin Trainer. Is he from like Norway or some weird country so it's easy to find him? No, he's not. That is so unfortunate. I can't control F on my keyboard, by the way, guys. It'd make it so much easier because it'll unplug my mic. Every time I try to touch my keyboard, for whatever reason, it unplugs the mic. How did Trainer play today? He must have played well if you want to get to him, right? Is what I'm assuming. All right, I can't find him. You can play Trainer. He's crazy play, but you could do it. Do I play Apex? I don't. I have buddies that do, though. Yeah, watch out for Trainer. Hey, you could do it. I've seen crazier things happen. Said he's excited to play. Yeah, I'm excited to see him play. Branica says, what's up, Luke? Tuning in late, but you're going to go back and catch up. What's up? What's going on? Better late than never, right? Welcome on in. Cheers. Thanks for all your insight. Really appreciate it. Let's go Steelers. Yeah, I'm stoked for the season, dude. I'm going to go to a game over in Vegas, the Raiders Steelers game I'll be going to. And I'm going to try and get to a couple, at least one up there in the Berg this year. So that'll be fun. Solid day so far. Absolutely. -3. Yeah. Dude, this leaderboard, it's like, I have no idea what Martin Trainer shot today. Somebody asked me about Scott Harrington before, and I was like, who? Yeah, he's from France. That's right. I thought it was Norway. Definitely not Norway. It's France. It's not really a weird country. I don't know why I called it weird. That's not true. He played well today. He didn't even gain with the putter. Oh boy. You're on to something there. You really are. You are on to something there. He did everything but putt, and that's just like kind of his thing. Oh boy. I don't know. I don't know if I can get there. I don't know if I'm that much of a sicko, Tony, but if there's a time to play Barn Trainer, it's right now. Like literally, if there's ever a time to play him, it's right now. Any cap in love? I guess it depends on how he played. He shot -3. Oh, good for him. Okay. You did it all with the putter? No cap in love. Trainer T23. Yep, just found. Appreciate it. Taking the sticks, playing LVCC in Paiute. I got to bring my sticks out there too. Yeah, I'm going out there. I know my family's going to be there. A few buddies. We're actually talking about it on my Discord about going there, watching it. So yeah, we'll have to make it a thing. Patrick, if you're going out there, let me know. We can make it a thing too. Tanner says, did you miss props? No, we're about to do it actually. Niners. Yeah, I know you're a Niners fan, Bobby. We play week 1, the Steelers. So that'll be fun. I don't know if you knew that, Bobby. We play week 1. What happened with your boy Luke Glover? Yeah, he sucked because he's donkey chalk, because he was way higher owned than he should have been. That's what happens when somebody's higher owned than they should be. Somebody shoot like +1, or maybe he got it to like even par by the end of the day. Yeah, I think he did, right? Got to like even par, something like that. I don't know. He can still make the cut. He probably will, because he's chalk, right? That's what happens. They play horrible in round 1 and then they make the cut after round 2. Wouldn't surprise me at all. Just yeah, he played like shit because he's chalk. That's what happens. So yeah, for props, guys, the course played pretty much like it's played its first 4 years. Like a half a stroke under par scoring average is like pretty much right on brand. And it's supposed to potentially rain there overnight. That's something that I'm going to have to check on in some of these forecasts. If it does rain overnight, I think it'll play as easy, if not even easier, for tomorrow's round. If it doesn't rain, I think it'll play slightly harder. So my prop process, we're probably not even gonna get to enter anything here on stream, because first off, Prize Picks and their payouts, I like almost refuse to play unless we can find some sort of way to get a regular payout. And then over here in Underdog, it's just bullshit. The hoops that they make you jump through to even go out there and enter slips. So we're probably going to stick to Chirp. I mentioned that yesterday, right? Chirps seems to be a pretty good site to go with at this point. May even have a working, they have a different market going. I have a working edge I'm trying to figure out right now with one of the layup props that they've got working. They did it before the first day that they dropped props, which I think was on Tuesday when Chirp posted their board. They had like Sun GM, Tony Finau, and I think Sepp Straka to make the cut, which like is crazy because all of them are like 85 to 95% chances to make the cut. And for those layup props to be profitable, you only need like an 80%. So that might be a market that we have to keep an eye on. So most of my exposure is going to be over there. Maybe Jock Market. I didn't mention that on stream, but Jock Market's another app that I've been trying to get into. They had a really good set of value up today that we hit on for a few props. Those kind of sites, like they're just, I know Prize Picks is the one that all of you guys are used to playing on. It's not worth playing on a site where, let's say we wanted to take these two over for birdies. It's going to pay us 2.5x. That's less than the other sites, right? And they're going to post the same, if not like just very slightly different boards, right? Over on those kind of sites. Like, what's the point of going out there and getting paid less money, right? For the same exact kind of bet. So they have the same push rolls, right? If you get a DNP or a push, it's the same kind of rolls over there too. Like, just, I couldn't see myself going out there and playing much over here in Prize Picks. So we'll use it to look at in terms of like comparisons. So we've got guys at 5 birdies. We've got some of like the middle / elite tier guys at 4.5, and no one at 4, right? So everyone's either at 4.5 or 5 birdies. That feels a little bit aggressive. The average today for the morning wave is 3.95 birdies. I haven't calculated it for the PM yet. I'm sure I'll take a look at that after we get off stream. I'm assuming it was closer to like 3.5, right? So if the board is priced at 4.5, 5 birdies, maybe not the studs, but like your lower tier players, there's probably going to be a few fades to be had. So we'll use this for some price shopping later, but I feel like this might be priced a little high in general, would be my thoughts, right? In terms of strokes, the board also seems a little bit, too lowly priced. Like it seems like they're giving these players a little bit too much credit. I'll remind you, right? The scoring average for the field was just half a stroke under par. That means for somebody to go out there and shoot a 67, right, which would be 4 under par, right, at a par 71, they're going to have to gain 3.5 strokes to the field. Gaining 3.5 strokes to the field in any given round is a ceiling performance. Like Scotty Scheffler, like the godly run that he's been on, he's gaining like 2.9 strokes per round on average, right? And that's an otherworldly run, right? Hit guy finishing top 12 every single week, right? Assuming that somebody's going to shoot that -4 is crazy talk to me, right? And I know it's not a major championship field. I know it's not an elevated field, right? It might be a little bit easier to do so. It just seems like this is priced too low, especially like the lower tier guys, right? Like the studs, maybe they aren't the guys that you should be looking at fading, but like these lower tier guys for sure. Like it feels like this is they're taking too much of a positive stance. Let's see, the combo plays are at 9.5, 9. Ooh, yeah. Let's see it. I want to test something. Oh, I can't even do it. I don't even have money on here. I'll have to do it later. I also don't want to give something away. Greens regulation, let's look at that. 14 there, 13.5 for the rest of the board. Noted. Good to know. Let's look at Underdog. So over here in Underdog, we might have a little bit more luck actually entering something because first off, I have my money on here, right? I didn't withdraw everything, but the board also is easier to navigate, right? You get normal payouts. You just have to kind of finagle your card a little bit. So they've got JT at 4.5 birdies. I am 100% taking that. We've got to find an under for strokes in the AM. That's ideally what I'm looking at. What do they have Sahith at over here on Prize Picks? Yeah, okay. And they have JT at 5 birdies, right? Yeah, they do. Okay. All right. That was the easiest card we've ever made here on stream before. I already knew I wanted to take these two players in some sort of capacity. The fact that they're better priced on Underdog than they are on Prize Picks makes them super easy to just go out there and take. So yeah, those two, super easy. And look, they took them off the board immediately. That's hilarious. Let's see. Did they even repost them or did they just immediately bump? No, they didn't. So yeah, it's JT over, by the way, and it's Sahith. Where's Sahith? Right here. Under 69 strokes. Right, they're going off early, right? These guys going off early, it's a huge effect, right? Early on, guys, people were just killing this golf course. Like, I'm comfortable with some of these projections for morning guys, but for PM guys, like it's fade central. Now, on Underdog, they only post like the cream of the crop players, right? You're not going to get like randos over here in Underdog. Well, let's see what we've got. Might be able to make something work here. Is it crazy that Underdog has the sharper board? That they actually posted better projections for once? That's wild. Let's see. Any golf board on Super Draft? Probably not, huh? Yeah, nothing for golf at this point. All right, let's see what's going on down chat. Again, we're almost at my 9:15 thing. So he withdrew because of his baby. He had a kid on Sunday, actually. So where are we at? Burrow carded off. I saw that. He's going to be okay, though. And honestly, I'm happy he's okay. We need him for the division to be fun. Steelers in golf, let's go. Absolutely. Yeah, I mean, what could be better than that, right? Going out there, playing golf, watching the Steelers. Sounds like heaven. I did it last year a few times, and honestly, I would 100% do it again. It's fun. Scott Piercy was garbage after blowing it last year. Yeah, Scott Piercy is a garbage golfer. Not surprised. I was going to say something else, but we'll leave it at that. Bob matchup is with regular payouts. So you're saying if you throw in a birdie or better matchup, you can get normal payouts? Noted. Again, I don't want to give away anything. Yesterday, something, yeah, I'm not even going to say it actually. Let's see. You like Chirp? I do too. You had a monster lineup with Champ in it. That's unfortunate. What's going on, Carl? Birdie combos. Yeah, it'd be unders for those two. Those seemed a little high. 4.5 birdies on Underdog. Yeah, I loved that. Yeah, you are right in lockstep with me, Bobby, for sure. Good stuff. Absolutely. They took JT off immediately. Refresh the page. It's probably there again. Right? Because that's what I had to do. I had to refresh the page and it went back up. It's off right now, but just refresh the page every couple minutes. It'll probably come back. Just checking in. Weather is a factor for the PM guys. So the guys going off late, with the latter half of tee times, their last like half of holes, they're going to have some wind. But outside of that, not really. It should be good for the morning wave. They've removed birdie or better combos. Someone knows. I might as well just say it now. Yeah, they're birdie or better combos. The reason why I like skipped and stopped talking there for a second is I was going to mention that they removed the multiplier, but I guess the secret's out. So I guess they took them off the board because of that. So, and I know somebody just mentioned the matchups doing the same thing. Guess what's probably going to get taken off the board here in the next minute because that was mentioned down in chat. It's unfortunate, but is what it is. All right, gonna hop on out of here, guys. That's all I've got for the round 2 stream. Gonna be doing the same thing for rounds 3 and 4, so make sure to subscribe. Check out my Twitter for when I'll be going live with those, and let's have ourselves a round 2 and a good weekend out there at the 3M. I appreciate the support here, guys. Hit the like button on the way out, and I'll see you guys tomorrow. Hopefully, feeling a little bit better with our bankroll after tomorrow.